Broadcasting from the financial capital of the world, this is NBR-FM, New York City.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Christopher Gorman. Joining me now from Phoenix, Arizona. He is a doctor of clinical psychology and the owner of OCD Recovery Center. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Christian R. Komor to the program. Dr. Komor, welcome. How are you today?
Hello, Christopher. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you on our show. Thank you so much for joining me today. And why don't you start us off? Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, you know, one of the interesting things about me is I've done a lot of things in my career since the early 80s. Worked at in a prison system, and I ran a mind-body health care center with 14 other practitioners I supervised, and then started to work with OCD and obsessive-compulsive spectrum disorders. But about 5 years ago, it was 7 years ago now, I was up near the headwaters of the Colorado River, and I was shocked to see the amount of fracking that was going on in the area as I was taking photographs. And that kind of led me, since I'm really a lover of nature, like probably many of your listeners, that led me to take training with Al Gore's group, and then become involved with a group of senior scientists who are working on climate change issues. And so that's really what I've been mostly working with recently, has been the psychological effects of climate change. And also, actually there's a group of us starting a federal lawsuit related to climate change.
Alrighty. Now, so what initially, sent you down that road, the road that you're doing now?
Well, like I said, it was my own love of nature, and the fact that I started to experience climate-related effects. You know, we all read about climate change and global warming and all these facts, but I think for us to really do something about it, which we all need to be, in order to take action, we have to experience it personally. Like, for instance, for me, 2 summers ago in Phoenix, airplanes weren't able to take off at the airport because they were grounded due to the high heat. They actually couldn't fly. When my son comes and visits, what his memories, most significant memories of visiting here, are of the massive fires that we've had out here. My mother just had to leave, cut a visit short because she was experiencing so much asthma from the increased dust we have in the air. Our water costs have gone up very significantly here. Of course, the Southwest is experiencing a significant drought. So, I think it's important for us to really experience on a personal level, maybe sit down and make a list of how has climate change affected me. Because with that sense of, heartfelt disturbance, that will get us motivated to actually do something. And what the researchers are finding more recently is that 40 years ago we lost our opportunity to make changes in the climate, or to repair what's happening with global warming by sustainability measures, making sure we don't use plastic straws, and shifting to renewable energy sources and driving hybrid vehicles. All these things will be really good down the road, but currently we have too much carbon already in the atmosphere. not going to. These things aren't going to save us. We have to mount a large-scale effort to remove carbon directly from the atmosphere. And that's a big job. So we have to have that psychological motivation to, like we did after Pearl Harbor was attacked. We're in a very similar situation right now where people need to get out and write their congressman and send letters to the editor and really, really get involved and get outspoken rapidly. The scientists are predicting, with a variance of 5 to 7 years, that around in the mid-2030s, our atmospheric and ecological system is going to reach a tipping level beyond which we won't have the capability to get climate change under control. So we've got only a short period of time. Again, like in World War II, we've only got a short period of time to react and to get mobilized. And that's a big thing for most of us to grasp.
All righty. So now, where do you think you see yourself moving forward? What are you going to be working on in the future?
Well, like I mentioned, I think everybody needs to be doing something, and it's actually a danger for us to think that well, gosh, I'm recycling, and so things are going to be okay. Even if we stopped all carbon emissions right now today, we went to zero. That would not be enough because we've already got too much carbon up in the atmosphere. So we all need to find a way to get involved. I'm fortunate enough that I'm able to, like I mentioned, initiate a federal lawsuit, and we're aiming to have the U.S. government not only return the protections which we've lost in large part for our environment, but more importantly, to develop a method of carbon capture that's going to help to directly reduce the amount of carbon already in the atmosphere. And there's a way to do this. It's just that we have to get the government moving, and quickly.
All righty. Well, what's the best way that my audience can reach out and contact you to find out more information?
I am always open to responding to emails at dr, that's Delta Romeo, .komor, Komor, at gmail.com. And our website is at theclimatelawsuit.com.
All righty. Well, Dr. Komor, it's been great having you on our show today. Thank you so much.
Christopher, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.